Have you ever noticed how many people show up in fear every time they face a challenging situation, or how many people let their emotions control how they lead? I have, and in this video, I'm gonna teach you a very powerful and proven framework that will shift how you do leadership and how you do life. So this framework I'm gonna take you through, you can apply not only when you journey through a challenging situation at work, but also in your personal life. And I want you to take notes, and I'm inviting you to share this framework with those you love, because when you apply this framework, not only will you get more energy, you will get time back, you will be considered as a go-to person, you will be considered as the channel whatever there's a difficult information coming to you and you need to communicate that. But moreover, this will help you stay so focused so that you can navigate whatever challenging situation you're facing with more ease and more calmness and more peace. All right. If this is the first time we connected, I'm super excited and welcome to my channel. My name is Camilla Calberg, and I have spent more than 20 years in corporate leadership roles at BP, Shell, and IBM. I have helped hundreds of leaders and business owners transform how they show up as leaders. It's not just about teaching them how to own the power, but also showing them how to strategically position themselves and own the room authentically, right? Showing up because they want to serve and show up in a way that is truly aligned with who they are at the core. And this framework will help you take any room with just an overflow of energy and with calmness and ease, right? So are you ready? I'm super excited because this framework will shift your life. I'm on fire right now, and it's proven that I can say. All right. This framework is all about navigating a challenging situation, and those poor people who haven't yet understood that they can control their thoughts, then obviously they are in their thoughts, and they are in their thoughts where it stems from the ego of fear. That's where we come from. Ego protects us, but ego is also that beast that does not like uncertainty. But we cannot control the future, right? But we can control how we want to show up. And if you want to show up with overflow of energy, whatever challenging situation you face, guess what happens? Then your perspective of this situation will shift, and suddenly you will see new opportunities. So step number one in navigating a challenging situation is all about observing your thoughts. What do I mean by that? You really want to slow down and really connect with any thought that you think. If you think any negative thought, guess what you will get? You will get more fear, and you will get more nervous, maybe more frustrated. But if you want to navigate any challenging situation with elegance and brilliance, that is not the smartest way to come from, right? So observe your thoughts, right? Make sure that whatever you're thinking, that is in alignment of the end result. Neville Goddard teaches us about coming from the end, living from the end. And that is as much as, this is really in alignment of Neville Goddard's teaching. So you want to always connect with your desired end result. That is step number one. Always come from the end result that you desire, and believe from the fact that everything is always working out for me, whatever that is, right? Whatever that is. But you want to tell yourself everything is always working out for you, for me. Then it's you to be so creative and think, what is then the next best step for me? Step number two is that of connecting with your end fulfilled. Because what is that you want? Most people do not know what they want. It requires a trained mind, because right now you may, and I assume you may come from fear, right? Fear-based acting. But that is not the smartest way if you want to take your career to the next level, if you want to run for your next promotion. Then you do not want to come from fear, whatever challenging you're facing. You want to come with an overflow of energy. So you want to know in that challenging situation, and I know it's a challenge, but it's a nice challenge. It's an opportunity to train the muscle of your mind and really focus on what you really, really want. That is step number 2. Focus on what you really want and believe from it. Believe from it. And then when you know what you want, then that's step number 3. It's about feeling into it. And if you followed me for a while and you done the Neville Goddard reading, you know that feeling is the secret. And so it is. Feel it when you have achieved whatever you want to achieve. And let me now just share a personal story so that you can relate to this framework that I'm taking you through. If you have followed me for a while, you know that my dad is struggling with cancer. Lately, he was diagnosed with some tumors in his right side of the brain. And I had a choice. I had the choice to focus on my fears of losing my dad, or really stepping up and applying this framework that Neville Goddard has been teaching us and people since 1935 or 1937. And I put all my efforts into this because I no longer wanted to show up as that woman and person who was riding on the wave of emotions, right? So whenever fear creeped in, I would connect with what I really, really wanted to achieve. What is the desired end result? So I was coming from my best imagination of what I wanted for my dad and how I could see my dad and me celebrating whatever we wanted to celebrate. Can you see how that works? Very, very powerful. Number 4 is obviously to hold the space whenever fear sneaks in, because you want to be so aware of what's going on. Because also sometimes when my dad, I had to be a channel for another critical message. And I was standing in my kitchen and I would cry. And I would then, because I would cry, then I would come from ego. I would come from, oh, poor me. I would feel victim, right? But that is not the best leader, to feel victimized. And it's not the best position to be if you want to be a leader, because a leader lead, right? You don't feel less than a poor me. So I had to, and if you're in my circles, you know, learn to dance with fears. Courage is not to do it without fear, it's to do it with fear, but it's also to come and really in your imagination, create that end result that you desire. So be in step 4, it's all about be so aware of that fear. We do not want to suppress feelings, because we know that will just come back as a boomerang. But we want to hold those fears and ask ourselves, how true is that fear? Oftentimes that fear is just fear of the future, and we start to believe in those fears, but it's not reality. And certainly you do not want that fear to be the future, right? So you want to be so on what you think. And then when fear sneaks in, connect with your desired end result, right? And then step number 5, I'm mixing up here, all the space here. But then step number 5, it's that of showing up from who you really want to be, right? Who is that next version of you who is navigating that challenging situation you're facing or journeying through right now? That's what I do in this season I'm in, and I'm navigating the season as that next version of me. So it's a setback. It's not a setback. It's to set me up for a greater version of myself, to set me up for to become a different version of me, and also help my dad traveling through his challenging season, where I can actually support him and not feel victimized because I am losing my dad. Then I would come from ego. I do not want to come from that place anymore. So in step 5, connect with that future version of yourself. And this is something that is difficult for a lot of people who haven't yet embarked on that personal development journey. And maybe you on your journey right now. I'm celebrating you and welcome, but it still takes some time. It's taking me years to connect with the future version, but I want to fast track that. I want to be that launch pad for you. So if you want to know more about connecting with that future version of yourself, consider joining our leadership blueprint that is coming up end of January. You do not want to miss it if you want to elevate this year. All right, I'm dropping the link below. And then what I do, and that is step number 6, is that I'm always telling myself that everything is always working out for me. I'm meditating, I'm journaling or visualizing, that everything is working out for me, whatever that is, right? And that is so powerful. And I tell myself that everything is working out for me. If the doctor wants to talk to me, that doctor has some amazing news for me. I'm marinating myself with the wish fulfilled. I'm not marinating myself with fear. That is a significant difference from not having a developed mind to having a developed mind. Being on your thoughts and not in your thoughts. And then number 7 is that of being a non-negotiable person. So in your future version of yourself, who are you right now as that next version of you? And you want to be so non-negotiable, right? For example, for me, in my old version of me, I would come home at night after visiting my dad or anyone else, at a hospital, and I would open maybe a bottle of wine or eat some chocolate, like comfy food. That is not me. That is not the next version of me. I will not comfy myself because then I would let emotions control me. What about you? How do that next version of you, how does she or he show up when you navigate through a difficult journey, a difficult moment? How does you show up? That is so important. Because then you're in alignment of your future version of yourself. I'm going to talk more about that and teach you more about that in the leadership blueprint. But being a non-negotiable person is critical if you want to come from the wish fulfilled, whatever challenging situation you are journeying through right now. So that was the 7 steps, and I want you to go and practice this framework, because I know for a fact that I've enriched it, I've finessed it, it's proven, and this will take your life to the next level. You will navigate any challenging situation with overflow of energy, overflow of time, and suddenly for me, my business is booming. I can reach out to people. I have so much energy because I'm controlling my thoughts and I'm connecting with my wish fulfilled. I hope this was helpful. I'm curious about your biggest takeaway. I'm curious about how you're applying this framework, what is difficult for you right now, why you want more help. But I know for a fact that this framework will help you and will help you take your career to the next level, so that next time you face a challenging situation, either at work or at home, you will not be taken or driven by emotions or fears, but you will actually have the long light on, right? So thank you for tuning in. I'm glad that we connected, and till next time, bye for now.